My name is Ryan Earnhardt from CreativeSoundLab.tv, where audio recording is an art form. Today's episode is a little bit of a follow-up from last week's episode. Last week we talked about how to critically listen to a single mono overhead. Kind of a basic, almost boring topic, but when you realize what it can do, in today's episode we're really going to take this to a musical level. It can be really quite cool. Now, usefulness of this is pretty broad. It tends to transfer really well, so you have very little surprises of what you hear in the control room or at your studio's desk to when you go and listen to music in your car. You have very few surprises, and so it transfers very well to lots of different systems because the sound is just so simple and so well intact because it's really you're only using one mic. Secondly, one mic, because it's so well glued together, you can really push it and shove it and pull it in lots of different directions with EQ and compression. So today we're going to be demonstrating that concept a little bit with the sound created from the RCA 44 and showing a little bit about how I would push and shove the sound and just have some fun with it using tube EQ and some compression. Let's check it out. Okay, so I have a drum track queued up from the RCA 44. Classic ribbon mic, should be very sculptable as far as its tones. So first thing that I have patched in, I have the track running out of my sound card and patched in directly into here. This is the EQ PWA by Warm Audio and the WA76 by Warm Audio. So first I have it go into EQ, then compression. And there's a couple of different mindsets on this. Everybody could do it a little bit differently. But for these two units here, I like to think of it that putting the EQ ahead of the compressor is going to get me the most attitude. Putting the compression ahead of the EQ will be a little bit less. Maybe you could say transparent, I guess. But really, the EQ is affecting how the compression works. It's really going to make the compressor work hard when I boost the low end, for example. The compressor is also going to probably affect how the high end sounds as well. If I were to have the EQ after this, then I could just do a nice, clean, sizzly top end, and I know that nothing is really going to affect it out of the compressor. It's already done its job. So here I'm situating it to get the maximum vibe here. So let's go ahead and cue up the track, and I'll go ahead and just kind of play around with the audio. And this is kind of my final setting here. So we'll kind of start, I guess we'll start there. We'll start at the final setting and then deconstruct it and go backwards. This is kind of where I've been playing with so far in my preparations for the episode today. A little boost and cut at 100, which is what the Pultec style EQ is famous for, is the simultaneous boost and cut. They don't actually null each other out. They actually kind of cleans up the low end that you boost in a way. Then I have a boost at kind of the upper mids and a cut at 20. So we're just going to kind of play around with the EQ, and then we'll play around with some compression. I have them both together in the same shot like this because one thing really does affect the other. So it's going to be a lot of going back and forth. I have all buttons depressed right here and have really weird settings here in the attack and release. So I'm really going for lots of flavor. Let's check it out. So I'm just having fun with this. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I have the free PDF guide available still for you, so go ahead and check that out. And I really hope that you got a lot out of this. I'll see you next video.